So, what other entities in the foundation is the foundation training to work on the core protocol outside the current set of actors?
Sure.
So, why don't you take that one, Joe?
Sure. So right now, the main incentive that the foundation offers in terms of attracting developers specifically for the node is bounties, right? And we do have a pretty open community where, if somebody works on the node or really in most aspects of Ergo, they find a lot of developer support and kind of onboarding, right? The Ergo Foundation, ultimately that's going to be one of its core purposes is to maintain the core of the protocol. I would personally hope that in time, as Ergo grows, it becomes more of a diversified group working on the node. But that has to come with time, right? There has to be a certain value aspect that creates the incentive and popularity to do that. But in my opinion, the more people at the table, it's just going to lead to better discussions and collective mind share. So, I would say long term, I would love to see other entities or actors come in, and so we can have higher level discussions about the future of the protocol. But it's early for that. It's one thing that you see about Bitcoin is you have a couple of entities and actors around the core protocol that are always talking, debating, proposing ideas. And to some degree, it does make them a little bit glacial in terms of change, but it also diversifies the just mind share instead of actors around it. I think that's ultimately a good thing. So my hope would be that we get more node developers, we get more high level ideas, bring them to the table, and then discuss and debate and figure out what path forward is best.
Yeah, I think that, well, a lot of this will actually come from other entities that are not the EF. Well, I mean, I guess this is basically what you're saying, that are not the EF, joining the ecosystem and really leading the conversation on some things, right? So my hope that it is also Zengate. Zengate will do that at some point. We will be able to contribute to the core protocol, and our development team is also going to work in a core protocol with the Ergo Foundation, and we could, develop something new. I mean, the Ergo Foundation is and the development team is more of kind of like the fundamentals, the OG crew. And maybe Zengate or other actors that come into the ecosystem. It doesn't just have to be Zengate, and I hope it's not just Zengate that's doing this. Spectrum, Ergoland, I'm sorry, Exit. What is the new name of Ergoland?
Excel. I know it's you got the memory of it now. Me too.
Yeah. So. Or whoever else is out there kind of they're using the protocol for their own particular application. And I'm a strong believer in commercial adoption being a big driver of innovation. And so for that, and this is why I think that at a certain point in the future, in the near future, Zengate will play a significant role in contributing to the core protocol, because we will come to points where we will say, okay, well, look, we're trying to develop functionality, we're trying to develop an ecosystem, we're trying to expand the ecosystem. We need to develop the stooling. We need to make these updates to the protocol. How do we do that? How do we compromise? How to create these new advancements? So I definitely think that as more outside actors, as more real decentralization happens, that's when new outside entities will expand and basically come in and start developing the protocol. So yeah, that's it's and it's good, and the Cardano ecosystem that's already starting to happen. Well, not with the core protocol, but kind of extending, layer 2 solutions and building things on top. And eventually, I think these companies will be developing part of the core protocol once it goes basically completely to the community. Like say companies like DC Spark, for example, these guys are doing a lot of development, or Genius Yield. These guys are all doing a lot of cool development. ADA Finance, but a lot of other ones. WMT is also going to think the World Mobile, I think, is going to be doing a lot of really good development, and eventually, I think there's going to be core development that is going to come out of that company because of their particular application of Cardano. So just to wrap it up, I think that is the real way to make this happen, to really expand this, and not to fall into the trap of, well, I don't know if I want to call it the trap, but kind of the Bitcoin scenario where you basically have a couple of dev houses, right? You only have a couple of major dev houses that are really kind of doing it. And then if somebody doesn't like it, they'll just fork it, like Bitcoin Cash or whatever, or Litecoin. They'll just kind of take it as like, oh, yeah, screw you guys. And I don't like what you're doing. I'm just going to make my own.
It's important that we stay in contact with the developer community to support the functionality that Ergo has. And actually, we've seen a lot of growth and just great ideas from actually outside the EF in terms of EIPs. Creating standards for building on top of Ergo, which sometimes then the core protocol needs to adjust to a little bit. So I imagine that will continue.